Hello, my friend. If we haven't met, my name is Sam. Thank you so much for turning on this video. If you are here, maybe you read the title, we are working towards crow pose. So this is a beginner, abdominal focused yoga flow, working towards the bent arm balance, traditionally referred to as Kakasana. Over the years, we have, altered the alignment of the posture in such a way that it's more accessible to people. If you're unfamiliar with what the shape looks like, I'm going to just kill the suspense right now. I'm going to show you. So essentially what we are trying to find is a relationship between the knees and the back of the arms. Our elbows are bending as we lean forwards. We work to lift the feet off the mat. So there's a couple of things involved in this pose. One of them, of course, is a connection between the knees and the back of the arms. And one of them is a nice close relationship between the rib cage and the thighs. So that is going to be what we're working on in today's practice. If you do have two blocks, they absolutely will come in handy for today's practice. If you have one block and something soft, whether it be a towel, a blanket, or a pillow, one block and your soft crash mat, we could call it, will come in handy. Otherwise, two blocks are going to be fantastic. Strap yourselves in. I hope you're excited. When you're ready, we'll get right into it. So we'll begin today's practice down on the back. Just bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall out wide, and rest your palms just on your rib cage. So left palm will rest against the left rib cage, right palm against the right. Let everything settle down for a moment and close the eyes. And just as we start to breathe here, we're just going to notice the breath. Noticing as you inhale, you feel the belly expand, the ribs move out to either side. As you exhale, you feel sinking. Navel draws down towards the floor. Left rib cage and right rib cage move towards each other. And just as you continue to breathe, I really want you to focus on that exhale. What you'll notice is that when you carry that exhale all the way down towards the bottom, you'll notice the abdominal muscles actually contract to get that last little bit of air out. And throughout this abdominal focused practice, that's what we're going to be focusing on, carrying the exhale all the way down to the bottom to help contract the muscles of the abdomen to give us a little extra support and strength. And take 2 more breaths here. Last one, deep inhale. Carry the exhale all the way to the bottom. Nice one. Then from here we'll start to bring the knees together. You draw the knees in towards the chest, give them a little hug to start with, so just wrap the hands around the knees, create a little bit of movement from side to side. See if you can lift the head up and off the mat as well. And we're going to try and keep the knees where they are. Just release them. If your feet are hooked over like mine, just unhook the feet and then reach the arms back behind you. So you see the knees are drawing in towards the chest. The arms are reaching back, but the arms are staying lifted off the mat if we can. From here, all we're going to do is bend the elbows. So the elbows search for the knees. Maybe it's even slightly above your elbow, more towards the tricep area. And this is our crow pose shape right here. So we're going to hold that if we can. In a moment, there's going to be a little more core fire starting to build. So the left side of the body is going to stay exactly where it is. Let's extend the right leg out in front of us, the right arm back behind us. And we'll take an inhale when we're long. Let the exhale bring elbow and knee back towards each other. Nice one. Same on the left side. Left side of the body gets long, breathe in. Exhale, we come back in. We do that 2 more times on either side. Inhale, right side is long. Exhale, we draw in. See if you can keep head and shoulders lifted. Inhale, left side is long. Exhale, we draw it in. Last one. Inhale, right side long. Exhale, draw it in. And finish off strong. Inhale, left side is long. Exhale, draw it in. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then catch hold of the knees. Bring yourself up towards the seat. And we'll move over onto hands and knees. Nice one. Hopefully the core is already starting to wake up a little bit. That's just teaching us a couple of things. One is the relationship between the rib cage and the thighs, which is important in crow. Also the relationship between the knees and the back of the arm. So that's what we're working on there. From your all fours position, push away from the floor. Tuck the toes under. We're going to extend the right leg back behind us. So try and find stability here through the shoulders. Once you do, left arm's going to extend out in front of us. So right leg is reaching backwards, left arm is reaching forwards. So we're going to take an inhale here. I'm going to let the exhale bring the left elbow and the right knee towards each other. So we round through the upper and middle back as we push through the right hand. And we do that 2 more times. So inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Again, just working on that elbow to knee connection. Last one, inhale long. Exhale, draw it in. Push, push, push. Hold, hold, hold. And then we'll come to hands and knees. Moving through 3 rounds of cow-cat just to balance out between sides. Belly softens, chest pulls forward, gaze lifts. Breathe in. Exhale to round. Push into the floor, chin to chest. 2 more times. Inhale, open. Exhale, draw it in. 1 more like that. Inhale. Exhale to round. Come back to a neutral spine. This time left leg will extend back behind us. Flex the foot. Find stability. Then reach your right arm out long in front of you. Stay stable for a breath in. Exhale, elbow to knee. Push through the left hand more as you get small. Inhale, expand. Exhale, draw in. 3rd and final time. Inhale, we're long. Exhale, we draw it in. And return. We're on hands and knees. We're going to shuffle the knees back a fraction, lean forward, just bend the elbows until we lower down on to the belly. It's important here that our hands are underneath our lowest ribs, so we slide the hands back. We push down through the tops of the feet. We're going to grip the mat with the fingertips, just roll the shoulder blades back and lift the chest a little. Notice my arms have a nice big bend in the elbows here, and the elbows are hugging in. Fingertips are gripping the floor, so these arms are reminiscent of how they're going to look in crow pose later on. Feet are pressing down, knees are lifting. Take another inhale. Exhale, we lower down. Hopefully your arms felt that. We can do it 2 more times. So start by pressing the feet down, roll the shoulder blades back, inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, we lower down. 3rd and final time, feet press down, inhale, we lift. We lift, we lift. Then as you lower, use the strength of the arms to press up onto hands and knees and send your hips back towards your heels. So coming towards Balasana or child's pose. Again, we've got that rib cage to thigh connection here. Then you can drop your head down. Again, that's something that we're just going to keep circling back to, that rib cage to thigh connection. And starting to create that relationship and deepen that conversation between rib cage and thighs, just to be able to get small, I guess you could say. That is going to help us later on. For a little mind-muscle connection, you could even bend the elbows and just take the back of your arms to rest on your knees again, so we can just experience that crow pose shape. If you look down at your forearms there, you could extend at the wrist joint, like your palms were pressing towards the front of the mat. And again, this is the exact same shape. So if you were to look at the joints here in a moment, the wrists, the elbows, the knees, and the hips are all in one line. They will be when we're in crow pose as well. We'll just be 90 degrees anti-clockwise. Take a breath. Nice one. From here, tuck your toes under. If you can, just walk your hands back. Lift your knees off the mat. Starting to get small again. creating that relationship, deepening that conversation between rib cage and thighs. Use your hands for support here and just move back as far as is available for you. Maybe the heels ground flat. If that's the case, you could interlace the fingers or catch hold of opposite wrist, just to really draw the legs in a little closer as well. Naturally, the knees are going to want to fall away from each other here. You're asking them to stay close. Nice work. From here, we'll walk our hands out in front of us, start to lift the hips up, come towards downward facing dog. A gentle pedal out through the feet. When you get there, might feel comfortable just to give you a little bit of space in the hips. And then when we're ready, inhale is going to reach the right leg straight up and back behind us. As we exhale, we're going to point the foot, pull the knee through chest, roll forward, see if your right knee can tap the back of your right arm. Keep the arms nice and straight and chest moving forwards. 2 more times. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, knee to the back of the arm. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, draw that sucker in, lift high on the left toes, keep pressing through the hands, and then look between the hands. We're going to step the right foot. Back knee drops down, interlace the fingers, come on up, and just press against the right thigh here. Leaning forward slightly, feeling those left toes. Staying tucked under, just to give you a little bit more activation through the back leg. And then from here, you can let your arms rise over your head. Notice as you do that, the ribs tend to flare out, so you're going to try and use an exhale to draw the ribs in. Carrying that exhale all the way to the bottom, just like we did at the very start of practice. If you feel comfortable, let the back knee rise off the mat, but continue to sit deep in that front right leg. Ribs drawing in, thumbs moving to the back of the room. Carrying the exhales all the way to the bottom. Take a breath. Exhale, circle the hands to the mat. We're just going to step the left leg up to meet the right. Inhale is going to lift us halfway. Get long. If floor's a little further away, you can take the hands to the shins there. As we exhale to fold, we're going to stay there. Again, once again, harping on again about that connection between rib cage and thigh. So bend the knees as much as you need. A little movement from side to side. If tension in the neck is being held, then hands find the back of the head, fingers interlace. It's more of an opportunity to let the back of the neck lengthen. Then we'll roll up through standing. Take our time, get nice and long. In a moment, we'll be balancing on our left leg, and our right knee is going to draw in towards the chest. With any standing balance, the gaze is super important. So if you can see the screen with your peripheral vision, then maybe just look above it gently, wherever your screen may be, roughly at eye level, so trying not to look down or up too much. Standing on left leg, interlace the fingers, bring the right knee towards the chest. Then using those fingers to wrap around the knee, see if you can lift it up a little bit higher. Standing tall in the left leg. Maybe flex the right foot, spread the toes out wide so you can feel a little bit of life in the foot. Then keep the knee where it is, just reach the arms up. Like in our lunge, using an exhale to draw the navel in, draw the ribs in nice and close. Then from here, we just start to bend the elbows. So right elbow searches for the knee, left elbow just pretends there was a knee underneath it. Notice the left knee will bend as well, so try and push through the left leg to straighten it. And just keep elbows drawing in. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Soften the right leg down. Give them a chance to shake out. A little bit tricky, a little bit of fun. Again, just building that relationship between elbow and knee. Take a breath. Let it out. Then we circle the arms out wide. Reach them tall as you breathe in. The exhale will fold us over the thighs. The head will drop. And we'll take a halfway lift as we breathe in. Right leg stays where it is. Step the left leg back long and see if you can ground the palms down. So the left leg and both arms are in a plank pose. We're going to see if we can squeeze the right heel in towards the bum and just stay here. So the knee is trying to lift high, like the rib cage and the thigh was super glued towards each other on the right hand side. Keep pushing through the arms, wrap the biceps forward. Be here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Come back towards your plank, lean forwards, bend the elbows, we lower down. Nice work. Pull through that cobra pose. So remember, the elbows are hugging in, you're gripping with the fingertips, knees are lifting off the mat. Exhale, drops the head. If you want to this time, tuck the toes, take a full push up, use the strength of the arms, and then come back to downward facing dog. Nice one. Inhale, left leg rises, straight up and back. Exhale, point the toes, pull the knee through chest as you roll forward. You tap the back of the arm. Try not to take the knee wide, just take it high. 2 more times. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we draw in, tap. Last one, inhale. Exhale, pull it in, roll forwards, tap, and then step the foot. Back knee drops down. When you get there, keep the back toes tucked under, interlace the fingers, rest them against the thigh just like we did before. Little lean forwards and then push against the thigh. Lift the chest up. From there, let your arms rise, up and overhead. Ribs drawing in using an exhale. Just try and keep that front body nice and tight, and then allowing the back knee to rise off the mat, continuing to sit deep in that front left leg. Take an inhale. Hold for the breath out. And hands come down towards the mat. Lean forward, step your right leg up to meet the left. Halfway lift is your inhale, spine is long. Exhale to fold over the thighs. When we come up towards standing, nice and slow. In a moment we work to balance on the right leg. Left knee will draw to chest. So remember, keep the gaze steady. Look just above the screen if you can at a point that's not going to move. And then don't let anything shift your focus. Interlace the fingers, right foot stays grounded, left knee draws up. You catch hold of the knee and you pull it up a little higher, as high as is comfortable, somewhere where it's going to stay. And you try to keep it there, just reach the arms up. Ribs are drawing in, knee lifting higher. Then we bend the elbows. You can point the palms up towards the ceiling, stand taller in the right leg. Just be there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Nice work. That one is tricky, so if you didn't enjoy it, that's okay. I didn't really either, but we did it together, and that's part of the fun. Step towards the top of the mat. At the inhale, circle the arms up. Reach them tall. The exhale folds you over the thighs. Halfway lift the in-breath, spine is long. Then left foot's going to stay. Step the right leg back. Come towards your lunge, press the palms flat, and like left thigh and left rib cage, we're glued together. Squeeze the left heel in towards the bottom. Push through the hands. Allow that knee to lift a little higher. Try to use your exhale to plug the knee up a little more. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Come back towards your plank. Bend the elbows. We lower down. There's our cobra pose. Take an inhale. As you exhale this time, let the head drop. Just press to hands and knees. And then come back through your child's pose. Hips back towards the heels. Arms reach out in front. Maybe elbows rest against the knees if you want to get the full crow pose experience. Let the head drop. Nice and easy. Let's start to lift the chest and then just tuck the toes under like we did before. Lean back, see if the knees can lift off the mat. And if the knees can lift, you just continue to descend like we did before. If the heels can ground flat, fantastic. If you're still balancing on the balls of the feet, that's good too. Lots of connection between the rib cage and the thighs. We're going to rest the back of the arms on the knee. So above the elbows, think of this like the triceps, the muscles on the back of the upper arm. And then just bend the elbows. So you bend the elbows, palms face forward first, and then you extend at the wrist joint. So the palm is pressing up towards the ceiling. What we have here is crow pose. We're just upside down. So in a moment, we're going to flip and try it. You'll notice there's one long line from wrist down to elbow, knees, and then hips. So it stays in a straight line. What that means is when we do come into the crow pose, the hips are going to be quite high. So instead of it looking like this, with the inner part of the legs on the outer part of the arms and the hips being nice and low, it's going to look quite a lot higher. What happens when the pose becomes higher is it gets a little scarier because there's a lot more distance to lean forwards, and that fear can sort of set in. This is why we've got our trusty blocks here. So if you have 2 blocks, they're going to come in handy. If you have 1 block, in place of your second block, you could use a crash mat. That could be a blanket, a couple of blankets, a couple of pillows, something soft, essentially. So your crash mat goes in front of you, or your block, and the second block's going to go underneath your feet. So because we want to get the hips nice and high, if you rest your feet onto a block, you're going to be able to get the hips up a little higher than you would be if you did not have a block underneath your feet. So you come towards a little squat, ribs and thighs are nice and close, and this block that's way out in front, I like to affectionately name, well, I'm not going to tell you what I name it because I don't know if I can swear on YouTube, but let's call it the O Sugar block. That's the O Sugar block out in front of you. With the feet on the block, first hips rise high. As hips lift, notice ribs and thighs are connected. They stay connected. We take knees to the back of the arms, which is different to the inner part of the thighs on the outer part of the arms. So it's knees to the back of the arms. Notice they're nice and high, almost up towards my elbows. I grip the mat with the fingertips. I hug the elbows in like we did in that cobra pose. And then I just lean forwards a little, see what that feels like. Notice the ribs and thighs are still connected. Notice the elbows are still hugging in. I'm using exhale to draw the navel in. Try to keep the core body nice and tight. Try not to look back, but instead look forward. Is that your crash mat or your old sugar block? There's more space. Lift onto the toes. Try not to jump. Just keep shifting forward so the fingers will get a little heavier. If one foot rises, fantastic. Maybe you swap between the two. If both feet lift, you can point the toes, put one on top of the other, squeeze the heels in towards the bottom. Now, if you feel yourself going too far, oh sugar, you've got your old sugar block or your crash mat in front of you. Now, that's not there to bear your entire weight. It's there just in case. If the fear is an issue for you, you've got that extra layer of support if you feel yourself going too far. Everything is hugging in, elbows are in, knees are drawing in, using an exhale to draw the navel in. Then when you're ready to come down, we set the toes back down. So nice work. Maybe that worked fantastic. Maybe it didn't. Maybe you don't need the blocks. But what the blocks are teaching us, the block underneath the feet is teaching us that the hips need to be high. The block in front of us is just letting us know that if we do go too far, we have a little support. The only issue with the block in front of you is you don't want to rely on it. It's there just in case. It's not there to bear your entire weight. Another way we could get into it with feet hip width distance apart, we could come through a chair pose. I like to sit the hips back, reach the arms out in front, and try to find rib cage to thigh connection first. It's like your thighs are parallel to the floor. Then from there, you're perfectly set up to take the knees to the back of the arms. Again, they're nice and high. Once the hands ground, elbows hug in, knees hug in. So you lean forwards, you grip the mat with the fingertips, maybe 1 foot or 2 feet lift. You squeeze the heels in. Notice I'm looking forwards or down, but not behind. You want to keep a little bit of gaze forward, keep hugging in. And when you're ready, you release. Nice work. So if that is your first time playing, there's going to be a little bit of weight on the back of the arms, right? When I say a little bit, it's probably going to be a lot. If you've never practiced this pose before, there's a lot of that weight pressing into the back of the arms, which is normal when you're first starting out, but eventually as you continue to practice and you get stronger, your arms are going to do more of the work, your core body is going to do more of the work, so the knees are actually going to become lighter instead of the arms acting like a shelf for your knees and your body weight to rest on. They're just there as a guide, and you can use the core muscle strength and the strength of the arms to try and keep the knees a little bit lighter and a little more buoyant. So once we're done having a play, we'll sit onto the bottom, extend the legs out long in front, and just take the back of the hands to the mat, either side of the hips, and then just clench the fists and open the hands a few times. It's just to give the extensors on the wrists and the forearms a little bit of a chance to lengthen. They spend a lot of time shortened or flexed, especially when the hands are on the mat, so we're just trying to counteract that. Flex the feet, reach the arms up, take an in-breath. Exhale, we'll fold. Catch hold of the feet if they're there, otherwise just let the hands rest on the floor, drop the head down. Again, still got that relationship between ribs and thighs, that's a recurring theme. You'll start to rise back up. Set the hands behind the hips, bend up the knees, and then roll the shoulder blades back. A little bend in the elbows first, then press through hands and feet. Start to lift the hips. And you feel the hips rise as high as the knees and the shoulders. Just look up to the ceiling, extend the crown of the head to the back of the room. Last breath. And then gently, we'll lower down. Nice. Take it all the way down onto the back. We're going to spread the arms out wide and then bring the knees into chest, just like we did at the start of practice. And the difference, this time it's restorative. Both knees fall to the left. Let the belly soften as you spread the arms out wide. No longer focusing on the exhales, trying to contract the muscles of the abdominals. Instead, we're just using the exhales to let everything release. Come back through center. Let both knees fall off to the right hand side. And once you feel even, just shift the hips back through center. Return to where we began our practice. That's soles of feet together, knees falling out wide. Take the hands to rest against the rib cage. And just notice your breath. Let the breath travel gently now. Let everything slow down. Now, if that was your first time playing with crow pose, whether you had some success or perhaps today it wasn't exactly successful, maybe you let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you got a bit of hang time, if there's still some things to work towards. Let me know if you have any questions. But I always want you to be proud of yourselves for turning up, for choosing to spend this time working on yourself. That work can just be physical if you want it to be. It can be mental, it can be spiritual, it could be all of the above and more. But it's your time and you chose to use it wisely. So I'm proud of you. And I hope that you thank yourself for being here. And I hope that you're proud of yourself too. With thanks, peace.